My stepsister says she's having a baby with my boyfriend. Now she's sending evidence, and I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Sometimes evidence can be hard to take in.
Oh, yeah, it can be hard to take in. So I met my 25 female boyfriend, Tim, 26 male, 3.5 years ago. We hit it off, and he was great and sweet, and we got along perfectly. It was a fairy tale, John. Until I introduced him to my family. My mother had gotten remarried a few months earlier. I, like my stepdad, and we get along fine. My stepsister, Sarah, who is 26 female, and I were friendly, but not besties by any means. She's kind of an intense party girl, and being in our 20s, we only saw each other at family events. So I introduced Tim to my family, at which point we learned Sarah used to date Tim. That's a weird dynamic.
It is.
Yeah, they used to date when he was 20. And Tim said they broke up because she made out with another guy at a nightclub while drunk. Sarah got upset and started saying I had to break up with him because it was too weird. She called Tim her sloppy seconds and tried to get our parents to force us to break up.
What is wrong with this woman?
I said no. It had been years since they'd been together, and I didn't even know Sarah when she was dating Tim. I got pretty upset because my family jumped on the bandwagon and said we should break up. Bro,
These families.
Well, I would have thought the family would have been in OP's corner.
See, that's the logical response, Sam. That's what intelligent human does.
That is baffling. For the past few years, at any family gathering, Sarah would mention how they used to date and act like I stole her boyfriend, and has been selling that narrative to family and friends. It became obvious that she was just jealous.
Yeah.
But I liked Tim, so I ignored it and we kept dating. So now, a few years later, Tim and I live together, and we've been talking about marriage and stuff, and I recently had a conversation with my mom about how I thought Tim was going to propose because he's not exactly subtle, and we've talked about this for a while. Things are progressive.
That's good, yeah.
At which point, Sarah, who just moved back in with our parents, walked in. She started asking a bunch of invasive questions about our relationship and being weird. Okay.
What's going on?
So it turns out Sarah is 4 months pregnant.
Oh.
The father, she said, was some deadbeat guy she hooked up with who wants nothing to do with her.
Okay.
But she wants to keep the baby.
Okay.
Okay. I thought it was going to be
right.
Tim.
Yeah.
But luckily it's not.
Okay.
As far as we know. I'd been making an effort, taking her to appointments and offering to help babysit and trying to be excited for her until a week ago when my stepdad sent me a long text saying how I can't marry Tim because he is the real father of Sarah's baby. Is that true?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
What proof? I want some proof.
Yeah.
Because
There's no
the family
proof
is
yet.
being
The family
like,
was
for all
going
we know,
crazy.
this is some elaborate prank pulled on OP to make them break up.
That would be such a terrible prank, but also something that would happen on Reddit.
I was immediately very upset and confronted Tim, who was completely shocked and said Sarah was lying, which honestly, Sarah sounds like a liar.
Well, you know, maybe.
Good track record of it.
Maybe.
He said there's no way he cheated on me and he would gladly have a paternity test to prove it. Unsure, I asked Sarah for more details about when they slept together, which she says happened a few times. She was shaky and went back and forth into details. Bro, she's just lying. Why is the family taking her side? Sarah sucks. The dates and times don't match up with what I remember of what Tim and I were doing. She said she came to our house to see him, but since COVID, I've been working from home. So I can't imagine how they managed that. I'm pretty sure that she's lying to get us to break up because she's still jealous. Imagine Sarah just got pregnant to make the breakup.
Oh, yeah. That would be one of the more insane things we've actually ever seen.
But now my family is involved and has been sending me hateful
messages saying I need to break up with him and let him be with Sarah.
Why? Because she cheated? So she
maybe because it's like
in their mind.
In their mind that Tim is hooking up with Sarah and Sarah is holding Tim's baby.
But it's like Tim still cheated on OP.
But at least the family unit would be together. And I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
There's some flawed logic here.
Yeah.
She's telling everyone he's in love with her and I'm keeping him from her. She has no proof and he strictly denied everything. I texted her asking her for proof of any of this happening. And she sent me some fake Photoshop screenshots that I can tell are fake, where she put Tim's name over a friend's number and pretended he was messaging her. I checked and the friend all but admitted to me and tried to laugh it off. She badly photoshopped the timestamp.
Wow.
I actually don't know what to do now. I believe Tim and we are still together, but this has kind of thrown a wedge in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a weird situation. Sarah has poisoned my relationship with our parents and my family, which is also insane that the parents and family are taking Sarah's side.
Beyond ridiculous.
Especially with her track record. It seems like you're just a liar.
Yeah.
I feel sick to my stomach, and Sarah is now saying she won't give me a paternity test. For now, I've cut everyone off except Tim, but I don't know what to do.
Well,
there is an update.
Oh.
But what would you do?
Don't know what to do. You've come to the right place.
We're going to tell you exactly what to do.
Just kidding. We have no idea. Okay.
I want to know what everyone would do in the comments, so put it in. And if you've been in a situation like this, which I hope you haven't, tell us.
If I was OP, one, I would definitely try to do everything in my power to get the paternity test, just because the crazy thing is OP just being pulled in both directions, where it's like at first she was like, oh my God, Tim was cheating on me. Now she's like, oh my God, Sarah was lying to me. I feel like her like reality field is just so like warped right now. Yeah. It would be nice to get some concrete evidence that of a DNA test the baby is not Tim's.
I would also just sit down with the parents and like, why are you believing her?
Yeah.
You stupid bastard.
Well, there is an update.
Okay. All right. I'm buckling in.
I had forgotten about this post because my life has been so hectic. I understand OP.
Yeah.
Not everyone's first instinct when their life falls shit is to go to Reddit.
Some people's, though.
The baby was born yesterday and reminded me, so I'm going to give an update. I spoke to my parents. Tim offered to do a paternity test. We gave them an ultimatum to believe me or have me out of their lives. Initially, my parents backed Sarah, mostly because she was pregnant and had nobody else. The deadbeat who knocked up Sarah reached out privately because he had been sure that he fathered Sarah's baby, as they'd been hooking up at the time and he wasn't sure what was going on. Sarah told him she was having the pregnancy terminated.
Wow.
Deadbeat reached out to my parents and said he wanted to fully support the child and Sarah. Deadbeat doesn't sound so deadbeat.
Doesn't sound so deadbeat. And he could have been there the whole time.
I know.
Oh.
Turns out he's a plumber. That's not the only thing he's plumbing. With a very good income and wants to be a dad to his kid, but he doesn't want to be with Sarah at all. Sarah still won't admit to lying about the affair, but after realizing people weren't falling for it, she switched to faking a mental illness to cover for her deception. I do believe this, though. She is mentally unwell, just not in the way she tells it. I also figured out what a master manipulator she is. She fed my parents tidbits and small lies to make her giant lies seem more credible. Tried to slowly turn them against me so they would more easily believe Tim was in love with Sarah. Things are still strained with my family, but I feel I'm making progress, and Sarah has moved on to getting attention for being pregnant/sick, so she's not obsessing over Tim anymore. Though I refused to be around her. Baby was born today, and I pray for that little guy. It's going to be a long and difficult life with that mother. My cousin went to visit and sent me a photo of the birth certificate. Father is listed as the deadbeat guy. And one more little update.
Oh.
Tim finally did propose.
Hey!
But we're planning a long engagement, and Sarah is not invited to the wedding. Mic drop. I love when it just wraps in a little bow.
Oh.
Feels so good. Feels so good.
Yes.
Man, but what a roller coaster. Sarah, absolute maniac. It's crazy that someone could lie so obviously to us, like we're reading the story, but everyone involved just doesn't realize it. And I think that's probably what happens a lot in these stories, where there's one person who's manipulating the whole situation to make it seem like the sane person is not really sane.
Like if she was like, okay, I know I'm going to come out as soon as she found out she was pregnant, she revealed 4 months pregnant, right? So she probably was planting those seeds for 4 months. Insane.
Farmer Sarah.
Plowing them fields. It wasn't the only thing plowed, but
I'm really curious about everyone's experience with manipulators. Because I feel like that's something that actually
is pretty universal.
It's pretty universal, pretty common. We've all experienced people that either by intention or unintentionally are manipulating you or others around you, and it just F's up everything.
Yeah.
We would love to know your manipulation stories.
Yeah. Let us know.
I ruined my brother's wedding cake and his marriage, but he had it coming.
Some people just deserve it.
Some people deserve it, and sometimes you have to be the person to give the justice. Just to be clear, I didn't actually do anything to the cake, but I'll just start from the very beginning. Growing up, my brother and I would play pranks on each other. I say each other, but he would prank me mostly. Relentlessly. Any of you who are younger siblings will know that there will be that one particular moment that often comes up even as you get older, and it goes something like, hey, remember when, that story they'll retell to cackle at something devilish they did to you as a child.
Yeah.
Our story was about a jar of cookies. Grandpa was an amazing baker, and he made me a batch of cookies for my birthday, 9th birthday, I believe, which he'd seal in an airtight glass box for me. I don't know how or when, but my brother got a hold of the box and proceeded to, fart in it, then sealed it back up.
Oh.
On my birthday, he handed me the cookie box and said, Grandpa put some extra stink into this batch. I didn't know what he meant in the moment. I was too excited to try what looked like delicious cookies. I opened the glass lid and got blasted in the face by the stench of stale that immediately threw up into the jar.
Oh my God.
All over the cookies. A tale my brother has told repeatedly to his delight since.
Sam, we talk about a lot of really hard situations on this podcast.
Oh, baby, the hardest.
And Sam, that's not the only thing that we need hard in this world.
Fellas, if you're trying to play a little game of hide the zucchini and you want that zucchini to be nice, firm, and strong, I think you're going to want to hear about our next sponsor.
We are working with Blue Chew, ladies and gentlemen. Blue Chew tablets. It is the best option to get your wiener stiff.
And you might be like, oh, I don't need it. But hey, you never know until you try. You could already be Arnold Schwarzenegger, but what if you were Superman? What if you were Tom Brady throwing spirals every freaking day in the bedroom?
That's right, guys. Blue Chew wants you to have better sex.
And I do too, personally.
We want your dongs rock hard. Discover all your options at bluechew.com. Just chew it and do it, baby.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code OKOP at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. I'm saying free, actually free. That's bluechew.com, promo code OKOP to receive your first month free.
Come on.
Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And I just want to thank Blue Chew one more time for sponsoring this podcast and making the hard things hard and our life easy.
Oh, yes. Back to the episode.
Fast forward to now, my brother's wedding day.
Uh-oh.
This wasn't a thought out plan. I hadn't been scheming it. It was spur of the moment. That's how you know it's good.
Oh, yeah.
My brother had retold the story yet again at his bachelor party 3 days prior to embarrass me, and I guess the story was fresh in his mind. Ceremony's over. All went well, and on to the reception. They're posing for photos before cutting the cake. And I don't know what came to me, but I just leaned over to my brother as his wife was about to take a bite, and I said, I put some extra steak into this cake.
Nice.
I thought he'd laugh. He did not. With the reflexes of a mother leaping across to rescue her newborn from something dangerous, he slapped the cake out of her hands. There were gasps. Some laughs. No one really knew what was going on, me included. He whispered in her ear. She looked me in the eyes for a good 5 to 10 seconds, then just started to cry. What do you think the brother thinks is happening?
I feel like the brother maybe thought he took it to another level and like took a dookie in it or something.
Put your bets on what's happening. She runs off. Everyone is confused. Then my brother confronts me. He told me he thought I did a in the cake as revenge for the cookies all those years ago. I told him I didn't, and it was just a dumb joke, but he was too mad to listen. She told her bridesmaids I did a in the cake too. Sure enough, soon everyone thinks that I took a in the cake.
Oh my God.
I mean, how though? I was too embarrassed to protest, so I just went home. It's been a week, and I've not spoken to them nor anyone else in the wedding, barring my life. And I keep feeling guilty, even though I didn't actually do anything. Am I the a-hole? So there's more to this story. Based off what you know so far, is OP the a-hole?
As of right now, I'm going to say not the a-hole.
I texted my brother to come to my house after work so we could talk. He bluntly accepted. We didn't get to really talk, though, because as soon as he pulled up in his car, he started yelling at me on the driveway. Turns out my prank things up more than I realized. After I left the wedding reception with my tail between my legs, they got into some kind of argument and didn't even go on their honeymoon, for which he blames me. He is still maintaining that I took a in the cake. And the reason is that a lot of people here realize that my naive 9-year-old self didn't. He did a in my cookies. What he didn't realize is his brother in the cookies.
Oh.
I obviously didn't get the specifics mid-argument, but it came out and that's what he did. I don't know how, as it was a glass box, so you would have seen like a parked turd on top. I can only assume he smeared it along the bottom as some type of paste, so people thought it was just chocolate oozing out. When I vomited in the box, he got away with blaming it on a stale fart. He thinks I figured it out and in the cake as revenge for something that happened 9 years ago. I tried defending myself. In fact, some of your responses help. How would I do this? Is the baker in on it with me? Did I pull off some elaborate ruse to get access to the fully formed cake to shit in it? He wasn't having any of it though. He says he knows I shit in it and he's going to get the cake forensically tested to prove it. He's even threatening legal action. Eventually, my wife had to intervene at the shouting match on their doorstep as he was getting increasingly aggressive. She was worried he may get violent. She got rid of him. And I just went back inside to try to process it all. I got in touch with his wife a few hours later as people's responses made me realize that even though my brother may be an asshole, her big day was definitely soiled by my actions. Thankfully, she seems a lot more forgiving than him. We spoke on the phone for a while and she knew the truth about the cookies. Not farts, which is why she believed him when he said I shit in the cake, but as they argued through the night, she realized that I was innocent. I didn't want to pry, but it sounded like there had been relationship problems that led up to the marriage anyway, and his overreaction was just the tipping point. She's now moved out and is staying with her parents. And I suppose my brother finds it easier to pin the blame of their problems on me than reflect about his own behavior. I brought up my brother's claim about testing the cake and she actually laughed, which reassured me that he's the only one thinking about such desperate measures. In conclusion, I may have been ruled not the a-hole, but my actions have ruined a marriage. She's moving out. My brother is lawyering up. They're getting an annulment and I may or may not receive a subpoena about a poo in a box.
Wow.
So OP's one sentence just ruined a marriage.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I want to know, has your answer changed? Is OP the a-hole or not?
Still not the a-hole because like he was saying, like, oh, there was like all of these problems in their marriage before. And now it's more clear that the reason why the brother was reacting so much is he's just trying to push all the blame off of himself.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? I mean, what did OP's joke go too far?
Yeah.
I think the fact that the brother thinks that OP has been holding like a 20-year grudge or like a 15-year grudge, whatever it is crazy. Well, what would you do in this situation if your brother was trying to sue you and you broke up his marriage?
Poop on the lawsuit.
Yeah, poop on the papers.
You've been served.
So have you just use this?
I just found out I'm pregnant, but my mother-in-law thinks I had a baby with another man. Then my father-in-law made it even worse.
My father-in-law is the father.
Dun, dun, dun. I, 27 female, used to be a escort from 18 until I was 23. I'm not proud of it, but I also don't give an F because I did what I had to do to keep studying and keep a roof over my head. That's how I met my now fiance, 37 male.
Through hooksing?
Although he was never my client.
So how did they meet?
Let's find out. We began to date when I was about 25, and 3 or 4 months after that, my brother-in-law exposed me. No idea how he found out, because there's no way my fiance knew, and thus we had to come clean to his whole family.
Is that something you keep from your fiance?
I don't know.
I feel like the fiance should know.
So yes, I did it. Yes, he now knows. Yes, he doesn't care.
All right. Stand-up guy, I guess.
There we go. It was 2 years ago at the time that I had stopped, and we got over it. After that, there was a span of 3 to 4 months in which my mother-in-law and some of my fiance's aunts and cousins would police their husbands when I was around.
Oh my God.
It was really weird, to be honest, because these dudes were like 40 to 60 years old, and I was not that desperate.
Do you think they made any offers?
So my fiance shut their BS down hard. And even when his family still gives me the side eye from time to time, we thought it was behind us, but it wasn't.
It's never behind you. Your past follows you forever.
That's right. Now, he proposed to me last year, and 5 months ago, we found out that I was pregnant. Congrats.
Congrats, OP.
We were really happy about it, and we told his family as soon as we knew. His sisters and young brother were happy for us. but his mom took me aside.
Oh, geez.
Had a little word with me. Is this our client baby?
Yeah.
You've heard of affair babies, but have you heard of client babies? She begged me to be honest with her and asked if this was really my fiance's child.
Dang, bro. That's a rough line of questioning to be subjected to.
I was taken aback, but I rolled my eyes and said yes. And she gave me some BS speech about how she only wanted to make sure and that she was so happy to be a grandmother.
Yikes.
Well, last weekend we were with his parents and with his family and some other friends, and we were talking about the baby name, how he might look, just small talk. We love him regardless. There's no, oh, I hope he gets your nose or, oh, I hope he gets your eyes type of comments. And then my father-in-law said that he and his children have a birthmark on their inner thigh and that even his grandchildren, one of my sister-in-law's kids, got the birthmark too. So our baby might also have the birthmark.
Huh.
But then he said, but how can we know from whom he got it? It may as well be from me, my boy, or one of my brothers here.
That makes you look bad too, bro.
We decided to keep it in the family. He and his brothers began to laugh and laugh away.
What are the vibes thinking, dude? Oh my God.
My fiance got mad, and before he could say anything, I said, I don't get it. And my father-in-law said, yeah, because, it runs in the family. And I said, I don't get it. Why would I get it from you?
Thank you. I love this effect. It's just like challenging them on the joke.
Yeah, explain. Then he just began to get nervous and said, because, it was a joke, OP. And I said, but I don't get it. And you all laughed. Explain.
That is such a good tactic.
Yes. It got to the point that some of his friends said, hey, it's not funny, man. So he excused himself and left. Later, my fiance's brother-in-law came to me and said that I was wrong for embarrassing him like that in his own house.
He embarrassed himself. Come on.
But it's his own house, Sam.
Oh.
How could she?
Hey, she can't stop him from embarrassing himself in his own house. You can just expose how much of a dick he is.
Yeah. And that I knew what the joke was about because of my past, of course, and I shouldn't be surprised. Now they're all demanding that I apologize to my father-in-law. This is the question, ladies and gentlemen. Was OP the a-hole for exposing the father-in-law, or was the father-in-law the a-hole? And was the mother-in-law the a-hole?
Yeah, so I don't think OP is the a-hole at all. Yeah, I think the father-in-law definitely the a-hole. What did the mother-in-law do again?
She asked her, is this really your baby?
I think that is definitely the a-hole. Definitely not okay.
Yeah.
I see it as like a little more not excusable, but just like I understand where the assholeness is coming from.
Yeah.
I just have to commend OP for this tactic. Use their
own logic against them.
Play dumb, make them explain what the joke is, and then they'll be left explaining just this terrible ideology that they have.
All OP did was ask him to explain the joke.
She used the Socratic method. Just ask some questions. Baby.
Literally. I'm beyond mad at my father because he did the unspeakable. Bought me a brand new car. When I, 17 male, was 8 years old, my parents bought me a piano and signed me up for lessons.
Man's just getting gifts on gifts. Oh, I'm a rich kid, but I'm not that rich.
Over time, I kind of became known as the piano kid at my school.
Sick.
I play at school concerts, accompany the school jazz choir, and play once a week for residents at a couple of retirement homes in town.
He's making all those old ladies swoon.
When I was 15, I started talking about quitting lessons, and my parents quickly tried to guilt me out of it. I told them I wanted to try other things and that between piano and studying...
No, not allowed.
How dare you? I said between piano and studying, I did not have much time left for extracurriculars. So my father proposed a deal. If I kept playing and taking lessons until I reached 10 RCM, Royal Conservatory of Music, and I continued to keep my grades up at school, he would buy me a new car of my choice. I jumped at it and we shook hands on the deal.
Nice.
I should explain that my family is well off financially.
Ooh,
you don't say.
I had
I?
No idea.
Oh,
Your
yes.
family is so well off.
I have a very privileged life, but I wouldn't say I've been spoiled.
You wouldn't say you've been spoiled?
Listen to this heartfelt next part, okay?
All right.
If I ever wanted a luxury item like a new phone or a game console, I would have to purchase it myself with my own money I've saved from summer and after school jobs.
They only gave me $10,000 a week for pocket money.
I should also explain that my dad is big on loopholes. When we compete, he always finds a way to win. And when I do it, it doesn't count because of some loophole. It drives me nuts, but he thinks it's hilarious. Whenever I complain about him not playing fair, his answer is always the same. Life isn't fair.
Except to us because we're wealthy.
Because of our deal, I kept up with my lesson. I spent about 1 to 2 hours a day on piano while keeping my grades up.
Yeah, I mean, he might be spoiled, but at least he's hardworking.
So last summer, I took the level 9 RCM exams. And remember, he just needs to get to 10.
Yeah.
And he passed. I told my dad that I had chosen the BMW X5 plug-in hybrid SUV. Now, a couple of days ago, on my birthday, I came downstairs for breakfast. My dad told me that there was a surprise waiting in the garage for me.
Oh, shit.
I ran out, and sitting in the middle of the floor was a beautiful, shiny 1/24th scale toy of a BMW.
Oh, yikes.
My dad burst out laughing and said, "A deal's a deal. So as promised, here is your brand new BMW." My heart absolutely broke. I asked him if he was serious, and he said I couldn't seriously have expected him to buy a 17-year-old a real brand new BMW.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an asshole move.
And he said that we would discuss getting me a reasonably priced used car. I said we had a deal and I fulfilled my end of it. He said he did too, since I never said this car had to be full size and drivable.
That's so
So I told him he wasn't being fair. His response, life isn't fair.
This guy sucks. I don't like this. And somehow I'm rooting for spoiled OP right now.
Ever since this happened, I've been distant with my dad. I honestly feel like he betrayed my trust and he deliberately made a fool out of me. He keeps bringing up the idea of the used car, but I told him I am not interested, which I admit is kind of petty.
A little petty. A
Little
little
petty.
petty. But it's just like, don't lie to your kid.
I have enough money saved that I can buy a cheap used car myself. And I just feel like if I accept one from him now, it's like saying that breaking his promise didn't matter and that he didn't do anything wrong. So am I the a-hole? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to know, is OP the a-hole for being petty? Is the dad the a-hole for pulling this stunt even though he has a rich, spoiled little brat? What do you think?
I actually don't think the kid is the a-hole for making the deal. I think the dad is 100% the a-hole for essentially lying to his kid.
Yeah.
Like the loophole thing is essentially it's just a lie.
The dad is right in saying that, do you really expect me to buy a almost $80,000 car for it? But then you say that in the moment.
Yeah, I just feel like how the dad went about it is maybe preparing OP to be a lawyer, not preparing him to have a good relationship with his father. What do you guys think? Would you do this as a parent?
Yeah.
What was your first car too?
Tell us.
See ya.